What's up, Candy Keepers? Little Candy Gamer here. Today I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks on starting up your art business, getting the most value from your time and running a sustainable art business. If you've not been here before, welcome. If you have, welcome back. Please like, comment and subscribe to my channel. If you haven't, don't forget to ring the notification bell. I bring out new content every Wednesday if you're in Australia or Tuesday if you're in the US. So first of all, I'm going to give you a brief rundown of the topics we will cover in today's video. These include how to start from scratch on a budget, pricing your artwork to sell, good business practices, getting the most value from your time, and lastly and most importantly, please stick around to the end where I'll teach you where to sell your art so that it sells and getting your customers to come back to you. So how are you going to start up your art business from scratch with little to no money? Simple. You're only going to buy what you need and you're going to keep your spending to a minimum. You do need to consider how you're going to be sending art to customers, the costs of all the little bits and pieces like envelopes, slips to protect the artwork, bubble wrap if you're going to do larger paintings, postage costs and whether to ask your customer to pay for that or not, bits and pieces to include in the envelope. For me, that includes business cards and stickers. These help my customer feel like they're getting a little extra love from me, make them feel special and keep them coming back. Having a mailing list is a good idea. You can do this for free on mailchimp.com. There are tons of tutorials about how to go about setting up your mailing list. It is a little bit tricky to begin with, but you will figure it all out by watching YouTube videos. You also need to sell your art on a platform. Me, I use a few. I use Facebook, Instagram, Etsy, YouTube and DeviantArt. Those are just for selling my art. I actually have more than that, so you only need 3. Etsy is a bit saturated, but you can use the digital store to set up your products so that people can view what you're all about. You will also need to consider branding. What are your branding colors going to be? Your branding should really reflect your personality. For me, I use bright rainbow colors and black. They're actually like pastel-y rainbow colors. This is because I was a bit of a pastel goth growing up, and these colors really reflect my personality and how I feel inside. So you can use certain phrasing as well, like with your customers when you're talking to them. For you, free, instantly are all good words to use to make them attracted to what you're saying, and you want to make the customer experience about them, not about you. So you want to be using the words you a lot instead of I. So I'm not a hugely successful artist. I've only been doing art for a year, selling it as a business, but I can tell you that I consistently get work and people wanting to buy my artwork off me, which is a huge thing if you ask me. Not everyone has to buy my art. It's something that they want to buy, and that's half the battle. So a good business practice would be that if there is any mistake, you make it a priority to fix for your customer. Regardless of whether it's your fault or not, you want to make sure your customer is 100% satisfied that you did everything to the best of your ability to resolve any issues for them. For example, their drawing or painting getting damaged by the post or lost and not arriving. Some examples of what I've done in this case are making sure that the customers get something to compensate them for it, maybe some art prints, something that makes them feel satisfied that the situation has been resolved. Even if you can't afford to refund the whole cost of the drawing, you want to at least do something to make your customers feel happy. If someone's art print hasn't shown up in the post, I won't question it. I'll instantly send them more prints. Prints are $1.50 to print, but a customer's happiness is worth so much more to me and will keep them coming back to you. So how do you price your art to sell? I actually have a full video on this where I go more into depth about it. I'm a little bit shy and like bumbling, but I'll pop it in a card at the top right so you can watch it next. It has a lot of value in it anyway. Even if I'm shy in the video and not too confident in what I'm saying, the information is very good and you should really listen to everything that I say really carefully. I wish I had had somebody to tell me all of this stuff when I was starting up my business, and it's something that you should really take note of. So basically, You don't want to be overcharging for your art in the beginning. You can always raise prices as you go. I'm not talking raising from $50 to $100. Like, you can raise by $10 and your customers are going to be happy. If it's getting overwhelming, if the demand's getting too high. So, for example, I started off selling my paintings at $150 a painting. They weren't really selling because nobody really knew who I was. Then I reduced the price to $50. I started selling drawings, which took longer. I enjoyed a lot more. My drawings started flying off the shelves. I couldn't draw quick enough to keep up with the demand. This was a decent price that allowed me to keep buying the art supplies that I needed. I might not have been able to live off it, but now they sell for $75. This is AUD, not USD, so AUD, keep in mind, is substantially less than USD. That's how much I charge for a commission now. Don't forget to take deposits for commission, guys. Do not forget to take a deposit with your commissions. And the ones that I design myself, I price to keep. So those are around... knock my microphone. Those are around $110 with postage. Even some of those have been selling, and I'm not too sad if they don't, because they're pieces I designed to keep for myself because I like them, I love them. So start low. You're not pricing your art at what you think it's worth. It's what a customer is willing to pay for it. I'm not trying to devalue your art or say this to upset anyone, but if your art isn't at a level where it's worth $150, and that might not be like because your art is bad, it might be because your name is not big enough, don't price it at that yet, because it's very hard to get people to part with their hard-earned money that they spend all week earning, especially when they are buying something that they don't really need. Art is a want and not a need, for them anyway, not for us. It's not a bill or food for us artists. It is our bills and our food, but it's not that way for the customer, okay? So now we need to talk about how we get the most value for your time. So to do this, you're going to have to work your ass off. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Ask yourself, is what I'm doing productive? I had to have somebody point this out to me. If the answer is no, then stop doing it. This includes sitting around on social media while you're meant to be working. If you're at a job and you're getting paid, you wouldn't be doing this. And in this case, you're working for yourself, so the only person you're screwing over is you. This includes sitting around on Facebook and Netflix, which I have been guilty of, Instagram or any other social media, chatting to your friends. You do need to have a social media and you do need to put your art on there, but you shouldn't be spending your entire day on there. A good time to do your socials is actually on the toilet. I'm not joking. While you're making your art, you should put your phone away from you. So like, even put it in another room. Tell people you're going off the grid. While you're making art, you put your phone and your distractions away from you so you can really sit down and focus on what you're doing. I'm sorry if this advice is very brutal and honest, but I want to teach you how to be successful, know how to procrastinate. You can set aside some time for yourself to play games sometimes if you're a gamer, but try and do it at nighttime or a time where you're winding down from the day, just like you would do if you were working at a job. It is your job, so you are working at a job, and on your downtime you can do what you want, but for me it's not very much because I have a toddler, so a lot of the time if you're running a business from home, chances are you'll have night shifts, staying up until 1 or 2 a.m. some nights to finish an important commission. And yes, I won't talk too much more about that, but lastly we're going to just talk about where to sell your art so that it sells and gaining the return customers that I promised you we would talk about at the start of the video. The answer to the first question is everywhere. I have toes in all the media ponds. I post on DeviantArt, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, Etsy, and I have Twitter, Tumblr, and ArtStation. I don't post as much on them, but on the last ones, but I at least make sure my art is there and that it shows clearly where people can buy from me. A good idea for Instagram is to have a link tree so that you can display all of your stores and media in there. Teespring is a good site that can make you shirts to sell to customers as well, and you get a cut of the profit. It's free, so you upload your artwork on there and you just get a cut of that. Making your customers return to you you need to be their friend. I treat all of my customers like my friends. They are my friends, and I do consider them as my friends. They'll come back at some point or another to buy more art because we're friends, and they have that rapport with me and they feel comfortable. That's all I got to say on today's topic, but before we go today, I'd really like it if you guys had some suggestions for more videos you'd like to see, if you told me in the comments below. If you want to submit some fan art drawings that I've done, you can do so on my Instagram. Just send me a DM and I'll give you a shout out on my YouTube channel. Stay beautiful, my amazing artists, and I'll see you next time on Little Candy Gamer.